Good evening, everyone. It's Lisa with Candidly Speaking. Thank you for tuning in once again. Get my yeah, they're sagging a little bit, but they'll be fine. They'll be fine. That's due to that childbirth. Yeah, and attempting to breastfeed. So don't worry about that. Try not to let those pancakes distract you. But I just want to say, hey guys, and thanks again for tuning in. But I do try to be a woman of my word. I really do. And I want to say sorry about this weekend, but I really couldn't record, like I planned on recording. So I'm sorry. It just didn't work out. Okay. So let's see here. First topic: how do you feel about fucking on your period? Viewer, how do I feel about fucking on your period? It's okay if your mate's okay with it. That's what I think. But I also think that like on the first day or two, it's not really a good idea. Only because it's really heavy. And it just kind of takes away from the pleasure, I don't know, for a female, I think. So, but if it's cool with you, then run with it. Yeah, get some towels and you guys will be fine. Alright, tell them don't worry. Some guys, yeah, just play with them a bit. When you see a little piece of blood or a little blood clot or something, grab it. Rub it on his belly. Watch how he dodges and tries to run from you. That's a good way, again, to leave you alone, too. But anyway, it totally went somewhere else. So yeah, it's fine with me if it's fine with your mate. How do you approach, this viewer states, how do you approach someone about having a threesome? About having a threesome. Now, if it's your girlfriend, I don't know, is this something that just came about? Did you all of a sudden just say, you know what? I want to have a fucking threesome. Or did you always think about this? So I just wanted to know, because if it's your girlfriend, then she should have had some kind of inclination that this is what you might be interested in or what you might be interested in, period. So if it's someone that you're just dating or whatever and you want to have a threesome, just fucking say it. Okay, just fucking say it. It's 2009. I'm going to need you to man up and just say it. If it's not about you, viewer, that's fine. It's about someone else. Tell them to man up or woman up as well. Yeah, because all the other person can do is say no or yes, and then maybe that'll give you an idea if you even want to be in a relationship with this person, because you might want to have maybe that in common, you guys being down with threesomes. Now, if you're talking about approaching the other person that you want to include in you and your girlfriends or you and your boyfriend's threesome, I don't really know about that. I'm not good with that either, like that approaching shit. Ooh, I don't really know. Try to catch them when they're drunk. I don't know. That's all I can say about it. All right. So next topic is taking proper steps for anal sex, and then it says such, toys and such. We cannot get away from that anal sex. I see that. There are no proper steps. There's no proper steps. There's no singing a lullaby, rubbing Vaseline around the asshole. There's no proper steps, and I'm not sure what toys you're talking about, but I'm not interested in knowing. Not interested in knowing at all, okay? So, yeah. Why don't women want a good man? And then I also asked the viewer for clarity. Aren't you guys proud of me? I never asked for clarity. But this time I did. So I was like, what is your definition of a good man? So they say, God-fearing, have their woman's back, love them no matter what, accept them and their children as a whole. Yeah, things like that. And those are great. And those are great things, and I really don't know why a woman would not want a man such as that, unless maybe there's no money. So we have some income involved here. Yeah, and that kind of ties into the next topic that a viewer had, good-looking or a good-looking man with no money, and that is no good, or would you prefer an all-right-looking guy with money? And viewer, were you being facetious? Because, yeah, I don't know a woman, well, I don't know, some women are pretty desperate. I know women out there that will take care of men, you know what I mean? This guy has no fucking job. She buys him cigarettes, she buys him beer, she pays the bills, comes home. It's bullshit. I've been there, ladies. I've been there, and I had to put it to a stop. As a matter of fact, I did put it to a stop, and it was going on 2 years for me, and I loved him. I really did, and I wanted it to work out, and I wanted him to do better. And I even gave him an ultimatum, and I hate doing that in relationships, but sometimes it seems like it's necessary. So I had to give an ultimatum, and even though it kind of turned out okay, after it was all said and done, it just seemed right back to normal, and I couldn't do it anymore. I could not do it anymore. I really could not. Everything about him was wonderful, but just that one thing. And it wasn't even that he didn't have ambition, because he did. He really did, but it just wasn't enough for me. Just wasn't enough of a hustler. To me, if a guy wants money and loves money, especially those that know that that's partially what it takes to get a woman, and if those of you out there saying, oh, you don't need a woman, you don't need money to get a woman, bullshit. Fuck can you do with no goddamn money? I mean, true enough, some of you probably can fuck her to death. I don't know, but that shit wears off. What the fuck? That's not security. That's not going to make me feel secure. When I'm out with my man, I want to know, okay, you know what, I know one thing, I'm not going to be fucking hungry. I'm damn sure not going to be thirsty. I know we're going to have a ride. I don't give a damn if it's a limo, a cab, his car, my car. We're going to be riding. Yeah, and he's going to make sure of that. And wherever we go, I know that everything's everything. You know what I mean? So that's how I want to feel when I'm with my man. I want to feel secure and comfortable. I don't want to be worried about, oh, shit, we're going to have enough of this. Why are we even fucking here? Huh? Why are we here? You know, so that does get old, ladies. You know what I mean? So I just don't want you to be out here with men. And I know that there's a shortage here in Atlanta, and I know I'm way off track, and I know I have other subjects to tackle. But I just want to stress to the women here, you know, try not to be, I don't know, so desperate and so available. I'm single too, so fucking what? And you guys know that, especially those who watch my show, so, and that's all right. You know what I mean? I like having a man too and all that shit, but they'll come. You know what I mean? They will. And it kind of gives you a chance to reflect on your life, your situation, your family, if you have kids, you know what I mean? So, and put things in perspective versus just, you know, just because this man's available, grab him, hold him down, keep him at home while I work my ass off and come home while he fucks me every now and then. When he's probably fucking someone down the street any goddamn way. I just want you ladies to think more of yourself. Put yourself on a pedestal, because if you don't, these men won't. They really won't. So you kind of have to push them to do so. And by doing so, you have to have certain demands. You know what I mean? So if those men can't meet those demands, then that's not the one for you. So all I'm saying is don't settle for less. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do in my life. And I want you to just try that in yours, because I've been there and I've done that. I've settled for less. I've settled for lesser than less. And I don't want to do that anymore. So I don't want you ladies out there doing that. I'm sorry it keeps doing like that. It's on my little Malibu Pilates chair here that I never get on. But I just want to tell that to you ladies. Not really sure how much time I have left. Nonetheless, battery life. Oops. But there was this other topic, you know, that someone brought up, you know, do women ejaculate when they're squirting? Like, is that considered something? You know, we talked about squirting the other day. Is that similar to how a man gets off? And, you know, I did a little research this time, but it was so extensive, I was trying to pull it back up on my browser, and I totally lost it or something. But it was very interesting. But you know how we were talking about the G-spot and how that's a sponge, and it was talking about how this, you know, because that's how it kind of, whatever, the guy's name was something, began with a G, so that's how the G-spot came about. And to this day, scientists don't even know what liquids are filled, because the G-spot, of course, it's like a sponge, you know, the little spongy part inside the vagina that I was telling you guys about. Well, anyway, it fills with fluids, and they're not sure what kind of fluids, but it fills with all these fluids, and, you know what I'm saying, then eventually it erupts. And they said even sometimes, you know, of course it can squirt out on your chest, or, I mean, you know, your man's chest, or whatever, in their eyes and their mouth. So they were saying be careful, but at the same time, you know, usually when bodily liquids like that are dispersed into the air, and by the time it hits the air, things like diseases and therefore are pretty much null and void, you know, after a certain amount of time. So I don't know, I don't know if I sound silly or whatever. I can't really explain it. I probably don't have that much time. And I do have a lot of other topics. I know I just ran on and on about things things that people did not even submit me to even talk about, so I'm sorry. But I promise I will touch on those topics tomorrow. But thanks again for tuning in. I love you guys. Women, love yourselves. Look up, not down, and broaden your horizons. Good night.